Hello people of YouTube, it is I, Fawi, and welcome to my 2025 timesheet video. The rules will be the same as last year, so let me summarize them real quick. First rule is that we're only gonna talk about my no shortcut times. I have a few glitch times, I'll show them on screen right now, but they're not very good and they're just not worth talking about. I didn't spend much time on them, so I wouldn't have many things to say about them. Second thing worth mentioning is that this commentary is gonna be like kinda mkw style, like kinda how he does it. So it's gonna be live and unscripted, and we're just gonna go track by track in order and kinda talk about them, talk about my goals, and kinda also react to the runs, because I don't really remember them that well, at least for most of them, that is. Before that, I wanna talk about my general stats though, which I did not mention last year. Let's first talk about my total time. Last year I was in the low 59s, and now I find this year with a 58.02. So very close to 57, which is like the last realistic sub. I'm pretty sure there are very few people that actually have a 56 total time. Regardless, I think this year I'm gonna shoot for like a 57 4x or 3x. I don't really have a precise goal. I don't really care about my total time that much, but it's still interesting to look at, I guess. I do care much more about my players page rank. I do not have data from last year on this, unfortunately, but this year I finished it in 148th place with an average finish of 242, and the goal for next year is gonna be to get and reach the top 100, which means that I have to cut currently about 65 AF, which translates to around a bit more than like 4,000 ranks. This will mostly require extra work compared to the individual goals I set for each track, which we'll get to in a minute, as usually the best way to cut average finish is to play flaps. I'll definitely play a lot of them. Like every time I'll play a 3-lap, I'll also play a flap to try to cut ranks. So far it has worked great. It allowed me to reach top 150 by the end of the year, so I will probably be able to do the same for 2026. But without further ado, let's get into the individual tracks. So here we go. Starting off with Luigi Circuit, we have a 109 this year. This is actually the second 109 I've achieved. My first one was like a very high 0.9, and when I got it I was like, basically, let's just try to improve it a bit more, because you gotta know that on the players page, on tracks where there are these big subs like, you know, 109 LC or 53 GB2, like really big important subs, people really tend to just get the sub and then stop playing. This means that by going even from a 109.9 to a 0.8, you cut like 100 ranks. It's so good for ranks where, like, if you just, you know, improve it a little bit further than just the bare minimum to get the sub, you know. And that's exactly what I was able to do in like 30 minutes after I set my first 109 with this 841 here. Lap 1 on this run is pretty fucking good. It's like my best lap 1 ever. And laps 2 and 3 are kind of whatever. Goal for next year is... No, goal for this year... I don't know, I'm still kind of confused about what year we are. Time flies by so fast, but yeah. 2026, I'll just try to get Italian tops because I'm so close already. Apart from that, I don't really want to play this track anymore. Next we have Moo Moo Meadows with over a second of improvements, going from a 118.7, I believe, like a high 0.7, to this 0.350. Initially, I improved this down to a 117.794 without the lows, but then I decided to improve it a bit further with the lows. As you can see here, we get the low lap 1, pretty nice. I mean, the recovery was pretty bad, but hey, at least we get the low. And we get the low lap 2 as well. Though lap 3, I had kind of a, you know, different approach than most people. Because I didn't really care about 116. I just wanted to, you know, cut ranks on the players page and get a deeper 117, like a mid 117. And so I decided lap 3 to not go for the low at all. Because I saw my double 0.6 pace, I knew, well, this can get a mid 117, no problem. I don't even need the low. And since I was so inconsistent on the low, just decided to not go for it and just play it safe. Next year, I wanna not do that and actually get the 116. I don't have splits for it yet, but my splits, like, I never hit a good lap 3, so my splits are definitely good enough. Like, if I got another good lap with the low, lap 3, this run could have been a 116 already. Here we are on Mushroom Gorge with almost 2 seconds of improvements down to a 143. This run is alright from what I remember. It doesn't have that many noticeable mistakes that I, remember off the top of my head. I'll react to them in real time if there are any. I don't really remember this run. What I do remember is that my lap 3 was pretty good, and then my lap 2 was pretty bad. Let's actually see like why that is. So far this lap 1 is pretty competent. I don't really see much wrong with it. Good gap without any bounces. Empty release was a bit late, but also I had to wheelie nudge slightly. But yeah, this round overall with the final time is not the greatest. Like, I can definitely do a lot better. Even just watching the run, I can just tell that this is very improvable. Oh, especially with that, yeah, I lost quite a bit. This double MT was also pretty slow. So I could definitely improve on just driving alone. There are some strats that will help me improve further, like starting to go for mushroom skip, which is not really practical, and also maybe going for task gap, which is really not very practical. Might experiment with those strategies, but apart from that, I'm pretty sure I'll just stick to these normal strats, normal tag gap, normal, mushroom movement, and just clean up the driving, clean up the caverns, and try to get Italian tops, which are currently at a very high 142, as you can see, so just getting the sub will probably get me Italian tops as well. But yeah, it would be a decently sized jump, but I'm pretty sure it will be perfectly doable within the end of the year. Here we go to Toad's Factory and my worst time in my entire timesheet, in my opinion. High 152 just doesn't cut it for my level of driving skill, and especially for the types of tracks I like to play, which are, not spear tracks, etc. This is pretty driving focused, kind of, pseudo-techy track, so it should be kind of more in my skill set, but nah, this track is, I don't really like it, but I also just didn't really play it or care for it that much. I really struggle, as you can see, with the leg cut. Get a really high leg cut, pretty slow, and the low as well. I get a pretty good low lap 1, but I'm pretty sure I missed it both lap 2 and 3 because I like, for some reason, never was able to get consistent at the double hop method. I don't know why, I just never fucking... I don't know why, bro. I could never learn it, even though it's so stable and everyone does it. I'm just like the only person on earth that just can't figure it out. And so I do this single shitty hop method that gets a low like 10% of the time. It gets good lows when it gets them, but like, so pointless when you don't get them 90% of the time, You really want consistency on this track above all else. Next year, therefore, I'm gonna try to shoot this down to a 151.8. Strats changes will include a better leg cut and definitely the double hop low. Apart from that, I think should be enough to get me over the barrier. Shroom strat, I don't really know which one to use, because 111, like many of my friends that have a 151 used 111 with like the spin drifts lap 1. But 210 is faster and maybe worth it? I don't know. Or 201, sorry, because otherwise you get pace locked by the stompers. I'll see what to use, but I will get the sub either way. Next is Mario Circuit, which is actually my favorite spear track. And not my best one anymore, because I haven't played this in over a year, as you can see. 6th of January. This is actually my oldest time, and is actually my longest lasting PB ever since I started playing this game, quote-unquote competitively, not really, but you know what I mean. This using 111, I don't think I'll change Shroom Strat for this year, but look at this wheelie turn. really bad wheelie turn. Lost a little time there. More wheelie turns here, just pretty bad. Yeah, lap 1 leaves a lot to be desired. Lap 2 and 3 are a bit better and are definitely more towards the driving standard I would need to stick to, even though them being a bit faster would help. I already have splits for my goal, which is Italian tops at a 434, which would require me to shave, you know, just a 223 milliseconds, so not a whole lot. It should definitely be doable. I think even just cleaning up and getting good alignments into the next lap is definitely my biggest point of improvement, especially looking at this run, where my driving is otherwise decent. My trims are also, like, okay. Nothing special, but not terrible either. So, I'll work on it. This is the only spear track I actually kind of want to play, so I'll definitely give it a shot. Coconut Mall, we have a 159 here. I actually did not improve this a whole lot over my time last year. Because I didn't play a whole lot really. I just got the 159 and kind of did. Although this is not my first 159. My first 159 was like a really high 0.9, and then improved to this 0.7 just one random day when I decided to just play this again. Not really anything to say about this run. It's just kind of just shitty, you know, high 159. Doesn't do any of the special strats, like, I don't know, any of the complicated strats, you know. It does really simple strats. And it's not that good. It's just not that good. For this year, I want to get a 158.4, lower 158. And for strat changes, I will definitely implement the second banister strat, along with some maybe riskier boost panel strats, depending on the pace. I haven't explored them too much. I guess I'll just figure out what to do when I'll actually end up playing this, or maybe like practicing the paces on Dolphin. I'll definitely figure out what boost panel strats to use. Sorry, I kind of not the best commentator. You'll have to excuse me. This is all live commentary, as I said in the intro, so you know, you kind of have to expect a level of shittiness due to the fact that English is not my first language. But yeah, I plan to work on this track quite a bit this year. Apart from that, I don't really know what else to say. My spirals definitely need some work. That one is actually pretty decent. And I'm pretty sure I will not implement infees, as they don't really save a whole lot of time unless you execute them really well. So, I don't know if I'll actually do that. Probably not. Fade the boost panel is way more than enough to get my goal. Moving on to DK Summit with my 152, mid 152. This is my second biggest improvement from last year in terms of just raw time. And that's because I had no fucking clue how to play this track last year. Now this year, I at least know how to play it. That's kind of like the threshold I reached. So, what to say about this run? I think lap 3 is a bit weaker than the others. It gets 3 for 3, like pretty good double cut. I missed the boost panel there, well. It gets like 3 for 3 pretty good double cuts and 3 for 3 last tricks. I know that for a fact. But apart from that, I don't know. It's just kind of, you know, a well executed run, but without, you know, going for really fast strategies. You know, I still do the regular double cut without the spin drift. I still do these kind of whatever works mount strats, these mogul strats that, you know, pretty bad. So definitely still have a whole lot of work to do on this track. As far as goals go, I have a 151 as a goal. My splits already give a low 151, but as you probably know if you played this track in this category, if you spent any amount of time with it, you'll know that splits don't fucking matter on this track. You can have 148 splits and still have a 151. Splits just don't matter. What matters is your consistency and just being able to get, you know, consistent good splits, which is extremely difficult. But yeah, as far as strat changes go, I'll definitely go for the spin drift variant of the double cut. I definitely want to learn it, especially for online play, not even much for time trials, because I don't even know how much time it saves. I know it's faster, but it's mostly because taking the double cut fast is so important for online play, and so I really want to get that down. Moving on to gold mine, I have a rather strange time. It's a 153.0, and I usually never leave tracks at a 0.0. But I have made an exception here because of how frustrating this track was starting to become because of the minecart cycles. The only strat I use here is wall bounce. I don't do turn skip or detach, and so beating the minecart lap 3 is basically impossible with my level of driving. Of course, better players could definitely do it, but for me, I just can't do it. And beating the minecart lap 3 is crucial to get a good time on this track. So, as a result, I initially wanted to shoot for just that 152, which is doable without beating the minecart. However, I just got really frustrated with this track, so I just stopped playing it. What else to say? Goal for next year is to get Italian tops, which would definitely require either like one of the two, you know, major advanced strats on this track, which are turn skip and detach. My plan is to learn one of them and use one of them, 3 for 3 of course. However, I still don't know if turn skip or detach is more worth it. Detach has more variance to it, in the sense that you really need to get a good detach in order to save up all the time with it. But I don't know, like, I'll just go for which one is easier. I don't really have a preference for speed, because I'm pretty sure both of them would be fast enough. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I'll see. I'm leaning more towards turn skip at the moment, but maybe I'll change my mind. If I use both, like if I learn both and end up using both, I'll probably shoot for 151 instead, but I'm not committing to it. Here we now have Daisy Circuit with a pretty... I want to know how to describe it. I guess it's a decent improvement. Yeah, I mean, especially for a track as short as this, I guess. A lot bigger improvement that it would probably, you know, deserve. So, for a track like this, I don't really know what to expect from it, because it is driving based, but it is also, you know, kind of inconsistent. So I did switch to Daisy this year. My previous year, my PB was on Flame Runner. And I switched to Daisy because it's generally just easier to play. It is worse in my opinion. Like, playing Daisy on this track makes it worse in terms of enjoyability, just because of how easy it is to miss mini turbos, and missing mini turbos, I think we can all agree, is one of the most frustrating fucking things that can happen to you. Apart from that, I don't know. I guess I'll just drive better for next year. Definitely not hit the cones. I don't know if you've noticed, lap 1 I did hit a cone that you're not supposed to hit on the tunnel. And I did it lap 3 as well, as you can see here in a minute. Let's see it. You're supposed to hit these ones, but not that one. As you can see, that slows me down to like 80 km/h. Loses a bunch of time, and I do it twice. So just cleaning up those mistakes will be enough for me to reach my goal of Italian tops. I'm so close already, I've already splits for it, so I'll definitely just achieve it. I just need to play this track again, which is something that I'm not looking forward to. Hence why I didn't do it in 2025. Here we have Koopa Cape now, with another one of my massive improvements. For a time, this was actually my best track. It was my first Legend Standard, and it was also, like, not really the first track I put significant time into. That was probably Maple Treeway, like, last year, but no, like, not last year, like in 2024 it was probably like Maple Treeway. But I still did. I played this track quite a lot, and I got decent at it. You know, this time is fairly okay for the strats used, but can definitely be a lot better. You can see here in the slap one that some of the execution is not quite as tight as you'd want, especially on that shroomless and on that pipe wraparound. With that said, originally I planned to set my goal for 2026 at a 219 on this track. However, I did change my mind, and I'm going for a 220 instead. And the reason for that is Mander strat. I've tried for a decent amount to learn the Mander strat, to try to get it down for 219. It does make 219 a lot easier. It saves around 0.2 per lap if you do it in an average way. It can save a lot more if you do it in a much more precise way, but you know, I'm not Luke, so I would struggle heavily to fucking do that. Still, 219, it makes Mander no. Mander makes 219 a lot easier. I got a mix there. Sorry. But that's funny. So 219 would be kind of fucking impractical for my current skill. And even for my future skill, let's say. So setting my goal at 220 is a lot more conservative choice, but I think is the right one. I'll just need to really clean up my shroomlesses and get... Yeah, no, kind of like cleaning up my shroomless should be enough. Maybe even also like implementing the drift trick on the wooden ramp. I know that saves quite a bit. Apart from that, I'd say just drive better. Yeah, I already have splits from mid 220, so I'll definitely capable of that time. I just need to put in the grind and it will be mine. And here we get to my best track currently, which is Maple Three-Way, with my mythical 218.795. If you've seen my video of me showcasing this time, and you've seen my reaction, you'll know like how much this time means to me. It's kind of just like the greatest achievement I've ever It's kind of just like my greatest achievement so far, so I'm really proud of it. Despite that, this run does have flaws. This lap 1 is fairly strong, but then lap 1 is pretty weak. No, not lap 1. The U-turn is pretty weak, but I make it up there with a full chain, as you saw, and with a decent ending. So overall, a pretty good lap 1. I do make some mistakes in the later laps. I think lap 2, I have a pretty bad treetop entry, which costs a lot of time. I think I re-hop on the branch really, which loses a lot of time. And then lap 3 just kind of have some slop to it. We'll see here. I remember this was pretty bad. Let's see. Yeah, I guess shot to like the side. That loses like 0.1. It doesn't look like it loses time, but trust me, that loses quite a bit. Also, by far the weakest point of the run is the U-turns. I still do a very safe, like kind of online U-turn strat, which is pretty slow for time trials. It's really consistent though, and it's part of the reason that I'm allowed, you know, to have a time like this. Yeah, that was pretty ugly, that branch, really. Yikes. But yeah, goal for next year is gonna be Italian record, or country record CR, you know, but I'm Italian, so Italian record. It's currently at a 217.923. And I'm gonna say it, like, if it gets improved, which is unlikely but possible, not by me, you know, if it gets improved by either Sal or Cross or some other Italian player, I will just get a 217 instead, because that's like my real goal. My real goal, spiritually, is a 217. Getting Italian record would be really nice, and I put it as my goal simply because, you know, it's so close to a 217 that you might as well just go for it. And yeah, this is probably my most ambitious goal for 2026, but I'm sure that if I put the time, I will be able to achieve it. Next is GV with a 155, cutting over 2 seconds from last year on a track that I really did not play that much. Mostly coming down to just having better driving knowledge, even though this run is not that advanced in terms of strats and in terms of driving. It's definitely very improvable. Therefore, I will shoot for a 154 just because improving the driving should be enough for it. And I do really want to experiment with some strat changes, mainly with the task room. I know it's kind of, you know, using task room at a 154 level maybe is not, you know, the most sensible thing in the world, but the thing is that the shroom is already, like, the normal shroom is already shitty and inconsistent, so it's not like going for task room makes the whole sequence like better, or like it doesn't make it worse already. Like it doesn't make it worse, at least. That's what I was trying to say. So, you know, trying to experiment with it might be worth it, might not, who knows. Point is, I really need to work on the driving because that's what it's mainly holding me back. I did actually play this track back in October, I'm pretty sure, to try and improve my time for a bit. Didn't play for that long, but I struggled heavily with two sections, which is here, the cave entry. This is like so hard. I did struggle a lot with it. And also the ending is another really tricky part that I now fully figured out. But if I put in the time, I could definitely figure out this track and get a better time. 154, in my opinion, is a pretty sensible goal, so should be able to achieve it no problem. I already have splits for it with my shitty driving, so I could probably even go a lot further, but I'm not committing to more than the sub. It would just be enough for me, so that's what I'll go for. And here we get to my biggest disappointment of the year, but also my biggest improvement in terms of raw time, counting almost 4.2 seconds over my time from last year, which I considered it to be my best time back in the day. So kinda impressive, you know, that I improved my best time from last year by the most amount. But truthfully, I did overrate my time a lot last year, so yeah. This was definitely like overdue to be improved massively, especially because I did not use Ultra. Meanwhile, here I do use Ultra, even though, there we go, I hit the sand and I lose so much time. It's kind of the reason why this run is a disappointment. It's just because if I didn't do that, it would be a 149. But then again, you know, if I just drove better, it would also be a 149, so, you know. This run is just kind of mediocre. I don't know. I'm not proud of it. Despite this being my clear second best time behind Maple Treeway, I am still not proud of it, just because of how the run plays out. For goals next year, I definitely want to get the sub. I know I'm capable of it. I already have splits for a 0.2, but of course I'm not aiming that low. I'm just aiming for a 0.642, which would be 4th Italian, and it would bring me from 7th Italian to 4th Italian, so yeah, I want to get that. I would not be content with just a high 149, because I just know I can go lower, but also I don't want to shoot for 148, because that would be just kind of insane. So 642, pretty good middle ground, you know. Definitely be proud of it when I'll achieve it. And I will achieve it eventually, you know. I just need to get back here and just grind it out. Movie Highway is up next with my 144. I had a 155 last year that I let sit due to the pace locks. And this year I actually beat the pace locks. So, guess that was kind of neat, you know. That's like kind of what I wanted to do. So, getting the 144 is mandatory for, like, if you beat the pace locks, you get a 144 basically. I didn't even really beat them because I needed to swing a lot, like very wide, to avoid them. As you'll see here, the wheelie turn wheelie, yeah, that was pretty fucking sketch. I'm actually amazed that I made that work. It lost a lot of time. And what to say about this run? Let's look at the chain here. It was a half drop, so not the greatest. I'm also pretty sure I dropped lap 1. And then, you know, the lap transition, I got that, you know, awful wheelie turn. So chains could definitely be vastly improved on this run. Something that could also be vastly improved is using the extra mini turbo strat on before the blind turn, the boost panel section. That would also save quite a bit of time, so probably experiment with it. Goal for next year, or for 2026, let's just stop saying next year because we are in 2026, is gonna be a 144.4. You know, Legends down there, almost fully beats the pace logs. In fact, that look here how wide I need to swing. You know, I need to swing really wide to avoid the cars and this truck here. So I just want to fully beat the pace logs next year. BC Weed is a track where I was pretty conflicted in terms of where to set my goals. This run right here, 224.475, is not good. It has mistakes all over it, and I'm generally just not very proud of it. Therefore, I do want to improve it, but also, I just struggled to play this track so much that I don't really know where to set my sights. Eventually, I did set my sights on Italian tops, which is harder than a 223, which I consider to be too easy, but also far easier than your Legend standard, which is 223.1, or 222, which would be extremely hard for me right now. I think important to mention is that I did play this track on 2 different, you know, time segments. I played it initially, like, earlier in the year, to get 224, and I did get a very high one. I then went back towards the middle of the year, as you can see, in June, to work it down a bit more. And I eventually just stopped at this 475 after I played it more and I just couldn't improve it. Still at almost a 3.5 second improvement over last year, which is pretty massive. Splits are already pretty, you know, pretty high. Can still be lowered by a lot, so I just kind of need an overhaul here. I just kind of need to just lock in and really, you know, learn the small stuff, because this track is a lot more about like the small stuff rather than the big strats, really, in terms of just raw optimization. If you look at a 224 or a 222, like, they don't look that different, because what matters are like the very small things that you don't really notice with the naked eye, or that you can notice only if you know, look for them. Reason why I want to improve at this track so much this year, I mean, not even so much, I just want to improve at it, because this is not, you know, an extreme goal or anything. But it's mainly for online. Like, this track is very important to drive online, I just want to get, you know, better at it. That's kind of it. It's definitely not because I enjoy it. I fucking hate time trialing this track. Oh yeah, the third guys are definitely, it was not necessary to hit. I lost so much time. Oh well. And finally, wrapping up the Nitro tracks, we have Rainbow Road with a gold star on a 232.270, which barely beats the gold star, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, it beats it by like 0.1. Yeah. Also, extremely close to the best splits, because I really did not play this for a lot. This is like kind of the first good run I got, and I was content with it, because I only cared about being the gold star and nothing else, really. So, what to say about this run? I do really moon jump a lap 1, only for, you know, the cycle. I don't do it laps 2 and 3, because it's way too fucking hard to do it more than once, especially when you're not online at the start. You know, it's so much harder. And apart from that, I do a pretty bad mistake at the end of lap 3. I'm pretty sure by hitting the... No, I don't hit anything. I miss the drift, I'm pretty sure. I missed the drift after the... what do you call it? The streamless like turn skip, you know? the weird like turn skip that you do here. On lap 3 I missed the drift, but you'll see, you'll see. I want to address the goal first, which is depends. On what does it depend? It depends on my will to learn kart. I've never played kart before, and I have no interest of actually like playing kart just to play it. I have an interest in playing it on this track specifically, you know, because it's so much faster. And as far as I also know, at least as far as I've been told, it also makes the track a lot more enjoyable to play, which is definitely a blessing, as this track is miserable to play with Flame Runner. It's absolutely horrible. I fucking hate it, so, you know, maybe kart would be a breath of fresh air that will actually make this track enjoyable. So if I do want to learn kart, if I end up learning kart, I think I'll shoot for a 229. Otherwise, if I stick to Flame Runner, I think I'll just shoot for a 231. Let's hear the mistake here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh my god, yeah. I don't even miss the drift, I just go so wide for no reason. I also missed the MT, so... Wow, that was very bad. But yeah, kind of a bad run. Pretty bad run. Almost as bad as TF, honestly. I think TF is still a bit worse, maybe. Or maybe this is worse, I don't know. I think you'll be the judge in the comments, but... Still a shitty run. On to the retros, we have Peach Beach. You'll instantly notice if you look at the info that this was actually achieved on New Year's Day, so it's technically not part of my 2025 timesheet. I did not count this time towards my total time and the rankings, like my players page rank that you saw at the start of the video, for this reason. Although it doesn't really make that much of a difference, as my PB from 2025 was a 114.275, so it's only an improvement of 101 milliseconds, and I'm pretty sure it didn't cut many spots, but it is still an improvement. It didn't make sense for me to talk about a time already beaten, so yeah, especially because this run is just kind of like the same, but slightly better. Goals is a 113. It will be pretty hard to achieve. I fucking suck at spear, and definitely kind of shows from this driving and the fucking rehop, because I cannot get a good alignment on the last turn to fucking save my life. I already have splits for it. No, will not enjoy this. I will not have fun playing this. Thank you for asking. And it will just be a miserable fucking torture, but I kind of just want to get all the important spear subs, and this is one of them, so I'll just have to suffer. Speaking of suffering, here we have the worst track in the game. Not really, honestly. It's just kind of a brainless track that nobody likes, and I don't like, but I don't think it's the worst. The goal here is none, because I don't want to fucking play this anymore, because I got the important spear sub, I got the 59, I have nothing else to do. This track is over, you know? At least it, you know, would be, I don't know, I really don't want to play this in 2026. I really don't want to fucking touch it. However, if I do run out of tracks with easily improvable ranks, I might play this again. Because in a very similar vein to Luigi Circuit, if I just bring this down to a 59.8 or even a 0.7, even better, I just cut like 150 ranks. So it would be very worth it for that. But wow, you know, 59, you get the sub, you just want to get the fuck out. Splits give a 59.5, but splits are worthless on this track, so yeah, it is what it is. GV2 is a pretty interesting track, almost improved it by a full second, though, you know, almost. Pretty graceful track to play, and I do want to get better at it this year. I'm already pretty decent at it, you know, 53.764. Nothing to scoff at in my opinion, but could definitely be a lot better. Setting my sights on a 53.599, I already have splits for it. and there will be just no strat changes, just generally better driving. Italian tops for this track are 53.461, I believe, or 462, I forgot. Point is, I don't think I'm good enough to get them this year. I'll go for them eventually, but I don't know, they seem quite optimized. Might try it, but I'm not committing to it. So 53.5 shall be enough. Here we get to another one of my oldest PBs with my 143. Yeah, this is the... I was kind of thinking about it because I forgot, but this is my first 143 that I've achieved. And it was a pretty deep sub, pretty, you know, cool time to get at the time. It was one of my best times, actually. And it's actually decently close to my summer best splits. But there's a reason why I don't really have a lot of potential for the check, at least at the time, is because, first of all, that's not how you do the single trick. I have no fucking idea why I was doing it like that at the time. I know that's not how you do it. I was doing it with like a wheelie cancel because I couldn't figure out the normal method, which is stupid. But it is what it is. I'm also pretty sure I just avoid the trick on laps 2 and 3 because of my alignment. I do get, I think, 2 full chains though, which is kind of the reason why this time is, you know, not shittier. But let's see here. Do I actually get them? Yeah, that's a full chain, alright. Well, call me Luke GB. Call me Casey. But yeah. Go for next year. No, stop saying next year, it's this year. Sorry. Go for 2026 is Italian tops, which are not that far from my time already, and considering how old this time is, and considering the fact that I don't even go for fucking pipe, I think I got it in the bag, you know. Only thing I need to do is learn how to fucking get the alignment, and yes, that is a second full chain. I get 2 full chains this run. Wow. And yeah, just, you know, learn the fucking pipe, use it, and go. Pretty simple plan, should probably work. RSL is a pretty graceful time trial, and also a pretty graceful, you know, graceful time, I guess. I don't even know what I'm fucking saying anymore. But yeah, but this run is fairly clean. There's not too much wrong with it, really. It's just that I go for more safe-ish strats. I don't go for the very tight TF input on the last turn. And I also don't go for the double spin drift sequence before the shroom. This was mostly because at the time I struggled a lot with spin drifts. I think now I would be a lot better off. But yeah, as you can see, you can cut that last turn tighter, especially on laps 2 and 3 with the penguin cycles. So yeah, there's still quite a bit to improve, but other than that, I think better driving will suffice to get my goal, which is an Italian tops of a 205.725. I do not have splits for it, and it will definitely be more of a learning experience, as I will need to change some things about how I usually drive this track. But apart from that, it shouldn't be too bad, I think. I don't really know what else to say about it. Let's see here. Actually, no. Maybe it was one of my older ones where like I didn't go for the TF input on the last turn. Cause I clearly do it here. I don't even know if I do TF input, but I go decently tight. I also take decently tight shrooms. I don't know. That was pretty bad. Cave driving is also not that bad, so I don't really know what else I can improve about it, but you know, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'll definitely just figure out where the time save is and then just apply the strats. But yeah, this is kind of just where my RSL is at. we now get to Shaggy Beach. My smallest this is my smallest improvement of if you just factor in like the time. This is my smallest improvement year over year, with only 339 milliseconds cut off from the previous year. Literally just got the King Standard and did not even think twice about playing this after I got the King Standard. And I'm pretty sure we'll not think twice about playing this, period. This is not the worst time turn in the world. It's just kinda, I don't know, it just feels like a waste of time. Playing this just feels like a waste of time. And I played Banji because I just had no ambitions on this track. So if I do end up playing this for ranks, mostly it will probably be ranks that will bring me to play this. It will definitely be on Spear. It will not be on Magi, because at least on Spear you have, you know, more of a direction, and it's a lot faster. Spear fucking sucks though, so I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. I'll probably play this, but as you can see from the goal, I am not committing to anything on this track because I just don't care about it. I would be perfectly fine if this time just stays here for next year. Delfino Square is a track that I have struggled a lot with this year. So, after getting my first 206, which was a 206.908, pretty sure, I kinda just stopped playing, you know, I was perfectly satisfied with it. But then later in the year, I decided to try and go for Legend Standard / Italian Tops. Legend Standard is faster than Italian Tops, and it's a 206.4. I played it quite a bit, but I got super frustrated with it. Mostly because of the chains. Yeah, I don't know, I just couldn't fucking play this track. I couldn't get paces, I couldn't get laps, it was just a total shitfest. Despite this, I was able to get one improvement, which is this 206.838. It's not that good. It's decent though, and it's good enough for me to just leave it sit for at least for, you know, for the rest of the year. Like, it was good enough for me to not want to go back and improve it necessarily. And I will improve it this year, and I will just, you know, finally get my 206.4 goal. I will not go further though, because this track is just fun to play, but only, you know, if you get the chance, if you're in the mood. And I don't know if I'll be in the mood to improve it further. Like, maybe I will be. I should stop being so pessimistic. If I play this track, and I manage to get decently consistent at the chains, and I manage to get, you know, decently consistent in the driving in general, to where I get a lot more potential than that 206.4, then I'll probably improve this a lot further, because the driving on this track is extremely fun. But yeah, Spirit's already give it, no strat changes, just pure execution. We'll see. Ooh, this run is a doozy. This run is really just not good. Despite that, sorry, I shouldn't have talked when I was, you know, sorry, I was fucking yawning. I shouldn't have talked, but whatever. This run is just kind of mid. Is it? I don't fucking know. I was not proud of it at the time, so I'm pretty sure I will not be proud of it even now watching it back. If it gets consistent splits, at least, I'm pretty sure. And it is also a pretty big improvement from last year. Splits give it 152, but you know, realizing your split potential on this track is extremely difficult and mostly never happens. Despite that, I do wanna not even just get good at the track. I just wanna really learn it well, because this is just not driven that well. I really wanna get consistent at the track. That's for sure. More than speed, I just care about consistency here, especially for online play. And wow, my god, that ramp is so high. I even hit the wall there. Wow. Especially because like playing this online lately, I have just struggled with it so much. So yeah, definitely just give it a pretty big stab. Again, maybe not to become the fastest in the world at it, but I at least want to get consistent at it. I set my goal as Italian tops at 152, and it should be pretty easily hittable if I just lock in and learn the track. I will not learn turn skip, so this will be no turn skip, and I will not enjoy it, but it will need to be done. So Desert Hills, much like Shy Guy Beach, is a track that I really don't care about. The only reason why I'm even putting a goal on this track is because I'm close to the sub. Apart from that, no interest in improving this like far. Nah, I'll just get the sub and dip. I already have splits for it, I already know the strats for it, you know. I'm pretty sure this specific run here is heavily brought back by the lap 1. Yeah, really bad recovery there. Dropped down to like 70 kmh with those bounces. That was fucking awful. But yeah, learning the sand hop, learning the sand hop recovery, like trying to just get the good landing every time, which requires you to land in a specific spawn in the sand, is definitely something I will need to work on, as I do get a good recovery here, for example, but my recovery lap 1 was just completely fucking terrible. So I really just need to get more consistent. Apart from that, I think I'll just take my first 1 in 36 and just go. I don't think I'll play this further than that. Italian tops are at 136.2, I believe, so yeah, too much hassle, not enough interest, so I will just stay here, probably. Or not stay here as a 070, we'll stay at a 136. But yeah, that's kind of my plans here. Baz's Castle 3. I have such a relationship with this track, well. So, my time here does not really represent my actual skill at the track. After getting my first 219, 219.8 through 2, I went back to improve it due to the fact that it was not King Standard. King Standard is 0.7. And man, I played this for probably like 30 hours trying to improve it. And then randomly, just out of fucking nowhere, I fluke straight to a 218. Not saying I don't deserve to have a time like this due to how much fucking, you know, time I spent into this track. Although, if I go back to play this fucking track, I probably will not be hitting any 218 splits at all. It is also, like, this run here also specifically was very lucky. I just spam chains, I don't time them. Also, yeah, I missed the third low there, which was pretty weird. Therefore, chains for me are kind of like luck-based. I know there no need to be, but for me they are, due to the fact that I don't know how to time them. And I'm pretty sure that this was played without audio. I started playing with audio more recently. I switched back to playing, you know, with game audio on, but pretty sure that when I played this, I did not have game audio on. But as you can see, yeah, half chain, half drop. And I'm pretty sure the lap 3 chains especially are amazing. Lap 3 is also by far my best lap ever. I have never even hit a lap 2 No, sorry, I never even hit a 0.2 or 0.1 before. And this lap 3 is a 0.0, so that's fucking ludicrous. Apart from that, don't really know what to say about this track. I fucking hate it. Goal for next year is going to be Italian Tops just because I'm close. Same thing with Luigi Circuit. I will not want to play this at all. And likely, when I get Italian Tops, this is a candidate for a track I'll never fucking play again. But yeah, half chain into full chain at the end there. Just amazing chains all around. And a subpar run overall. Especially with that missed low. DKJP now. This run is pretty shit as far as I remember. But it's also not the worst thing in the world, you know, it's a pretty humble run. My first 215 was also my final one, cut 2 seconds from last year, and overall just a decent-ish PB that I do not have the urge to improve. Wow, what to say about this track? I don't really know what to say. I'll say that my goal of 214 is more for like bringing this track up to the rest of my timesheet, as this is like barely, you know, king. And I do like the driving on this track. Of course I fucking hate the shroom, because how can you not hate the shroom? You know, you kind of need to hate it if you know anything about it. So I don't know, I think it will just be a matter of playing and improving. Just by, you know, lines, most likely. I do get decent shrooms in this run, if I'm not mistaken, so those could be a point of improvement if I start implementing dash shroom, which I've been told is not that much harder than the regular shroom. It is also more consistent and faster. It still sucks though, like it doesn't really change the fact that it fucking sucks. The shroom on this track will always suck. There is no sugarcoating it. But yeah, I think 214 is a good enough goal. And I don't really know. I don't really know what else to say. Ooh, I forgot about that. Wow. I forgot about that, yeah. That's rough. That's like a rough mistake. I'm pretty sure it happened because I missed my wheelie. That was terrible. Ugh. I don't even know how this steals 215, because like it's not like the previous two laps were exceptionally good, you know. Maybe I have like a really good shroom lap 3, I don't know, I forgot, let's see. Oh yeah, that shroom is, wow, yeah. That's like the Yasha shroom, where he hits the cavern on one of his formidable records. Wow. Yeah, that was fast. Retro Mario Circuit, GCM Mario Circuit, also known as the lair of Big Pork and Caden. I had a decent time here. A pretty decent time here, in fact. Like, I was kind of surprised I was able to achieve a 132 here. And a pretty deep one at that. It's not even like a 999, you know, it's a 705. And you'll see lap 3 that this could have actually just been straight up Italian Tops. Like, this track was very close of just not being improved in 2026, because I would not have, I would have never like planned to play this if I already had a Italian Tops on this. Kind of sing discourse as what are the tracks? What are the tracks that I make this argument for? Like BC3 and there was some other one, I forgot. And like Daisy Circuit. Shit like that, like shit where I'm so fucking close to Italian Tops, I just want to achieve it. But apart from that, I don't really care about the track, I don't really want to play it. This track is not as bad as the others. It's just that I think my time here is already pretty good. Like those two laps, bro, both 0.8, low 0.8s. I think my driving here is just not that bad. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at this. I don't know. Maybe I just fucking suck in my own cock, but I don't know. I feel like this run is pretty good. Apart from this mistake, lap 3, you'll see. Like serious mistake. I go like, yeah, I just don't get the angle and then it's so fucking awkward. Wow. But yeah, I don't think I'll change strats, maybe I'll learn the double bridge tricks, but Italian tops it is. Will probably be achieved, the race splits for it. We shall see. Now on to MC3, which is another track where I was really surprised on how far I was able to go this year, what I've never expected to get at 118. You'll see that this run is okay. Lap 1 is kind of below average. I think, yeah, lap 1 is it's pretty below average. But lap 2 is my best lap 2 ever, and lap 3 is also not too shabby. So it's pretty decent. No glaring mistakes, and just a pretty graceful run overall. I actually really enjoyed this track, so you might be surprised that I put my goal as none. And I really want to stress that it's not because I don't want to play this track this year. I do want to play it. It's more of just like, I don't know how far I want to go. Because the thing is that there's not really a concrete sub-barrier to break anymore. I mean, 117 is fucking impossible. And I already have Italian tops. So, kind of just, you know, confused on what to do here. I do want to improve this time, probably. I do want to play this track more. But I don't know where I'll stop, you know. I might stop at a 0.8, I might stop at a 0.7, I might stop at a 0.6 or lower. Who really knows? I think I'll just play this. I'll just pick up this track again at some random point of the year and just bring it down and see how far I can go. Peach Gardens, we have a 201 and almost 3 seconds cut from this track, which you wouldn't expect due to like how driving based it is and how there's not that much variance and especially time saving at this level. But yeah, almost 3 seconds of improvements. Played this track quite a lot this year. Okay, not quite a lot, but I did play it at like multiple like points in time. And the still one here, pretty decent as far as I remember. I don't think there are many glaring mistakes with it. What to say? I do this. I do the, you know, the holding your drift, not releasing at the top of the stairs. It's slow, and I should change that. However, I'm pretty sure that the fastest way to actually do that is with a super soft drift, which I'm not even gonna fucking attempt to implement. But maybe you can do one a softer, it's still faster, still worth it. I don't fucking know. I might ask around for advice on that. What is faster, what should be implemented is Scorpio strat, which is very awkward, but also very worth it as far as I know. Gopher this year is gonna be Italian tops at 201.3 flat. Should be pretty doable. It is kind of a more on the ambitious side, seeing my best splits, but honestly, like, just looking at this run, I just know I can go faster, so it shouldn't be that bad. I think I should be able to do it with ease. Maybe not with ease, but, you know, like, without struggling too much, kind of, you know, should be pretty doable. And, yeah, we'll see at the end of this lap here how it goes. So far, this run has been pretty, like, you know, pretty watchable. I don't really see anything wrong with it. So let's see this ending here. Ooh. Okay, that bounce. I don't know. Could be better. Could have been a better ending, but hey. 201.3 is the goal, and we'll achieve it. DKM over 3 seconds cut from last year, and a 209. I had achieved this like quite early in the year as well, and I'm decently proud of it. This run is not the best by any fucking stretch of the imagination. Fuck no. But for 0 wraparounds, I guess it could be worse. I don't know. I do definitely need to change a bunch of shit on this track. First of all, my wraparound approach. I do not get wraparounds because I don't do the right approach. I'm not consistent at it. I really need to get under the mountain consistently in a very fast way. My cuts are pretty fast. I don't think they need much improvement. At least I've saw that one. That one was decently fast, so maybe I think it's just more about the mountain section and about the stunning session as well. I did struggle a lot with it. Lost so many rounds to just missing the MTs or the like bouncing all over the place at the start. It's a very tricky track. This track is very tricky, but you know, like any trick, there's some secret behind it. So yeah, should be. I should just definitely be able to achieve my goal of a 2:8.470, which is Italian tops and legend standard. I also remember that my lap 2 here that you're seeing right now is a lot faster than my other 2 laps. Yeah, 42.836. And I'm pretty sure that the main difference between, you know, lap 1 and 2 was the mountain. Got a much better line into the mountain and did not get wrapped around, but I did get a much better line afterwards. Just stuff like this on this track is just very line based despite, you know, being very bouncy. The bounces are controllable, and really the hard part about it is to control the bounces, you know. That's so slow, like you see how it went wide, you see how it went... That's why this lap is so much slower than the lap 2, you know. I think that's the main difference. Cut here is perfectly fine, so... Just really need to work on the mountain, maybe get wraparounds, and just get the bag, you know. Finally, we get to the last track of the game, RBC. It's also one of my least favorites, but it's also the one that I didn't play that much and still got a very sizable improvement on, with a 234.162 getting me my final gold star. Therefore, yeah, I just have all the gold stars for regular tracks, even after the DK Summit one got updated recently. Which, yeah, I did not clarify this when I talked about DK Summit, but I achieved the 152 before the gold star got updated, so I just automatically had it. Either way, we're talking about RBC here. This lap 1, as far as I know, is pretty alright. Just watching it, I can see that the spiral fucking sucks, but the rest of the lap was alright, at least so far. Let's look at this cut here. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's moving. 51.035. Can't really go wrong with that, especially for a target time of a 234.5, you know. Strong opener, strong opener. Don't really have any ambition here on this track. I'll just get a 233 for jokes. I already have splits for it, and beating the geyser on lap 3 is too hard. I don't want to deal with it because I fucking hate this track. Also, wow, no Superman lap 2. The rest of the lap was not that bad, so I think this lap is still passable, but I really did not expect to miss Superman there. I mean, my approach was completely wrong. It's not like I got unlucky or anything. There's no luck in Superman as far as I know. Strat change is 0. Again, very simple goal. Just need to cut 163 milliseconds. So, yeah. There's not much else to say. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll just let you finish the rest of the run, as I have nothing more to say. Bye now.